want to touch back on something in case people don't know. What is No Child Left Behind?
Ooh, so it is a law that was enacted by President George Bush, as I like to call him, Baby Bush. Baby
I
Bush,
say Bush Jr.
Baby Bush enacted that, and it was to understand that, like, basically all children will grow, will be able to, be educated. And then, I mean, it was, from your special ed kids all the way to your, top Excel, they will grow and develop. Us within, a school years of learning every year is what it says. That's what it loosely means.
Okay.
But I think the enactment of it, especially because every district, every school, every state is always going to do it different, because there's not a federal guideline of education. It's just, get out of school. So how you put that in place and what it meant for districts and schools, and that's where, like, testing became more important.
Okay.
That's where it was even if you didn't pass a test, like before that, it was like, even if you didn't pass a test, you could still go to the next grade level. Now you're getting trapped in grade levels,
Wow.
especially in high school. Like, you get trapped at graduation if you haven't passed all 5, so it's like, to me, it became a trapping system, but it also put a lot of pressure on, I would say, the beginning and just throughout the educational crisis period, because you're looking at, like, in high school, if I'm your high school senior teacher and you have not passed English 1 and English 2, the pressure's on me to get you out of here.
Yeah.
Like, you might be doing excellent in my class, but I got to get you past this test to get you out of high school. That's a lot of pressure on me as an English teacher for 12th grade, because I'm like, ooh. And then, but it also puts pressure on me as a 9th or 10th grade teacher, because I'm trying to get you to pass this test so you can graduate. So it's not something that you have to think about on that end. You go to the opposite end, elementary, they start testing in 3rd grade.
Wow.
So it's no more of I want to test to see what grade level you read and write and do math at. It's now, okay, because I think 3rd grade has like 3 or 4 tests. So this is your first, you've had.
3rd graders have 3 or 4?
They have 2. So you have, okay, so here you go. You're thinking about it this way. You got pre-K, kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade. By the time you really get to learning, now you got 2 standardized tests to see if you can read and write on the level that the state says you need to read and write on. But here's the thing: you don't have a lot of educators creating those tests. You have a lot of people who are not certified in education. I had to find it. They're not certified in education. They do not have degrees in education. They are not content specialists. They are not content masters, and they are the ones creating these tests. And these tests are utilized throughout the country. It's not just utilized only in Texas or only here. So then you got 3rd grade. You got to figure out, can we read and write? What did you learn in 1st and 2nd for the most part? And then now you got teachers blaming the grade level before, like, why y'all didn't teach them this? Why y'all didn't teach them that? Then you got 5th grade as an exit level. So you got 3 tests in 5th grade. Then you go through 6th and 7th grade, 2 tests, and then 8th grade you got 4. So it's like, again, you're having like the last part of like 5th grade, elementary, you locked in. We got to make sure you got these tests to go to 6th and 7th grade.
Yeah.
8th grade, another checkpoint. 9th grade, checkpoint. 12th grade, check. Like, you got all these checkpoints in education, which I understand that we should have checkpoints, but I'm thinking, like, are these accurate checkpoints?
Yeah.
So when you think about No Child Left Behind, it's like you put a lot of pressure on teachers to figure out how to not leave a child behind, but then also be like, okay, I'm gonna leave these 4 behind because I have these 20 that that are close or on the bubble, or they're gonna excel. So I gotta get my scores with these, because then now districts be like, well, your scores are not high enough, and you like, do you not know who you just sent me? I mean, we're definitely in a COVID baby enterprise right now. Like, these kids that are in the system right now all started through COVID for the most part. And I'm looking at it from a high school point, you got about another 7-8 years before all of these COVID babies get out of the system. Wow. And a lot of them started at home on a computer when we were all trying to figure out what did COVID look like for us, what did COVID education look like. So you got these kids, I think they probably are now in like 5th grade.
Yep.
Wow.
They're in 5th grade. So you looking like 5th grade, and you got to get this generation all the way to 12th grade. Yeah, you gonna leave some of them behind. They're going to get left behind because it wasn't implemented the same everywhere. Yeah. What I did at home versus what another teacher did at home, what I could do at home. Maybe I'm sick and can't do anything at home. My district is starting us at home. Some kids can go online, some kids cannot. Like, so wow. It's like I would say this, there's not a lot of grace given in education. So when you look at what No Child Left Behind really implemented, it implemented the legacy of leaving students behind because you have no choice. It's not because you feel like a student can't do it. It's not like you feel like a student is not educated. It's not that you feel like that student cannot get it. But if you have to say, you know, it's almost like, you know, if you got to figure out my freedom or yours, I can't pull everybody, especially, and this is where it goes into that parent support. If I don't have parent support, yeah, and I have called your parent, I've emailed, I've texted, I've class dojoed, I've skywrited, I've sent, maybe I put in a newspaper article to say, can you come up here to this classroom for me? And this baby is still not getting it. I have to be like, you know what, I don't want to leave you behind, but I can't focus on you because I got this student's mom is on me every day. I can put an 80. I had a student, I put an 80 in the system and the mom called me. I was like, hello? She was like, yeah, you put an 80. Can she make that up? Like, if I got that parent.
Wait, hold on, that's a B, right, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, it's a B.
That's a solid grade.
She said, no. She said, baby, no, we don't make nothing less than A's. And I said, okay, well.
Like my dad.
And it was so funny because first I was like, how did you not? I literally just put this in the system.
She was watching
and
that thing,
she was like,
boy.
I have it set that if she makes anything less than a 90, it alerts me. And I was like, parents have so much access to what we do in the classroom now. Like we don't have the paper, you know, the paper progress reports. You don't have to wait until the
we had to give it to our parents.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have to get the end of the
Mine
6 and 9 weeks.
For some reason.
Mine did too. But I mean, you don't have the 6 and 9 weeks to have to wait to see what your kid is doing. You can check in every day and see. And that's where that partnership comes. But if I feel like your parent is not a partner in your education, then am I the one that left you behind, or is it your parent that wants me to leave you behind?
Yeah,
because
good point.
I can only, like they say, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. If I got a parent in my ear every day, I'm going to make sure that that student and I and that parent are working together. If I keep trying to reach you and you never respond to me, then I'm like, I can't be, I'm not a daycare worker. You can't just drop them off and say, it's up to you to make them learn this. And then I'm saying, hey, they not learning this. When they get home, they need to do this. And you're like, hey, I dropped them off with you. Good luck. So, I mean, but sometimes it does feel like that. It feels like they're like, hey, they yours for today. Good luck. So that's where the parent partnership in education comes into play.
Wow. So when they made No Child Left Behind, the Department of Education didn't make no kind of standardized thing or nothing. So then that leads me to the next one. Like, what does the Department of Education do?
So here's the thing. You know, we have to remember where we were in 2001. We had Baby Bush in office. We was going into a war in Iraq, and it seems like we're repeating life as it was in 2001. So like I said, I think the understanding of what it was trying to do was good. But the misstep is, like you said, there's not a federal mandate in education. Like, the thing is how you interpret what it looks like in your district, in your state. Every state makes its own rules. Every district interprets the rules from there. It's more about, like, the Department of Education is more about the overseeing of how the money is sent to people. Like, okay, this state has this many students, I'm going to send this state this much money. After that, it is just broken down to the governor says, I'm going to send this much to certain districts however I want to, depending on what I want. And then they're more so on, like, making sure there's money for students to go to college. Okay. So they're more so like the business side of it. They're not the curriculum, again, they're not the curriculum experts. They're not the content experts. They're not the ones that say, okay, why do kids need 28 credits to get out of school? Some districts say 28, some districts say 26, some say 18. So it's like, look, get your kids out of school the best way you can. Here go the money to do so. You know, and that's basically is kind of where the federal part comes in, is about making sure that we have money to spend in schools, but it's not allocated in any systematic way to make sure that everyone gets what they need. So again, it goes back into leaving children behind because the resources are not allocated correctly. I won't say correctly, fairly.
Okay.
I'll go with fair. They're not allocated in a fair way to where the students that need the more support get the more support.
Gotcha.